good evening. I am running late. And by late, I mean I absolutely finished this book with enough time to fully make my slideshow and have somehow managed to not make my slideshow. So, we are going to do this a little differently in that I will be typing it in two different places, one on the slideshow to save for my own purposes, and I will hopefully be able to show it at the end. And one I will type on the actual screen so that y'all can see it. So I'm doing double work, and I will probably not be looking super hard for there's an A in that word. There we go. I will not be looking super hard for details, and jeez. But I will hopefully get everything in here correctly. I've just put 13 slides in with the wrong layout. Fantastic. So hopefully y'all have all had a much better day or week. And if you haven't, well, you can you can sit here with me and watch me be silly. But yeah, I want to make sure that I have this so that we can go through the official one at the end, just in case you wanna see it and save it somewhere. Oh gosh, and the reason I'm not having it up at the same time is because, as per usual, if you don't know this, I like things to look the same, like from week to week, if you can't tell from how I've set this up. But I sometimes forget what I do. So I have last time's opened while I'm doing this one. And if any of y'all are wondering where I was last time, I'm very sorry about that. It was not intentional. But it did wind up being beneficial because it gave me more time to read this. My tracking is a little weird and slow. Let's see. That's better. Okay. So we have the publisher, year, series. Oh, who was the original publisher? Not the copy I have. Okay, fun fact. The copy I'm using was a gift, and I greatly appreciate it because it means I get to read it. 2010. By Hyperion. Oh, sorry. So my copy is actually a UK print, which I didn't realize at first, and then I started seeing U's and K's in places that I wasn't used to seeing U's and K's, and it wasn't just from the character that was raised in Great Britain. So, dead giveaway. Alright, so let me make a box over here. Put text. Oh, I forgot I had a censor bar. Hang on. Where does the censor bar sit? It's been a while since I've used the censor bar. Alright, hang on a second. I'm gonna... I've changed my mind, I'm doing something else. Paste. Properties. Point 2. That one. Okay. We're gonna rename it. And then if I flick that, nope. I need to move my sensor bar. Sensor bar, where are you? Here you are. I need you to go to the top. How? Alright, it's on the top. Now, ha! Okay. Wonderful. We're gonna start here. Also, if I do this... Oh, you can see that. That's weird. That shouldn't happen. Okay, well that's not the end of the world. So you're gonna kind of see me build this thing in a janky way because I'm trying to go fast and also provide information. Welcome to me making a PowerPoint slideshow. So as per usual, this is meant to entertain and inform. I don't hold any of the rights to the works described, and I hope you enjoy this kind of jinky little thing. Yes, I use Google Slides. We are doing the Kane Chronicles, the Red Pyramid. Please tell me y'all can't see that. You cannot. Only I can see that. Fantastic. It's only annoying me. We are doing the Kane Chronicles, the Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. I'm going to say this here at the top of this. I really like the Percy Jackson books. I really like Egyptian mythology. This is a little strange for me. And because I was able to put this in while I was talking to y'all a second ago, the publishing details, it was originally published in 2010 by Disney Hyperion Books. It is part of the series, if you couldn't tell by the name. It is book 1 of the Kane Chronicles. And I'm very sorry, this is gonna be such a weird scuff stream. I had my coffee ready. I had over an hour to do this, and I lost track of time. And I could have done it yesterday. Or the day before. Alright, so we do that. And then I hope and pray that I can find the original illustrator. Let's see. If I can't find the original illustrator... Oh, those are such pretty illustrations. Do you credit your illustrators? Why is this such a weird thing? It can't be that impossible, right? No, not about him. I want... I suspect I could go find my Percy Jackson book because it looks like the same illustrator. But I don't... Kane Chronicles... Not the graphic novel. Kane Chronicles. So, for the record, if you're ever trying to do things like looking up the illustrators for books that you don't own the first printing of, the internet is not in fact helpful. Let's see. We'll get to that in a bit. That looks like the correct person. Do you have your own website? Please, please, please. Bless. So, while a lot of illustrators have their own websites, sometimes getting the name to even go look up the website is a booger. Those are lovely, but I don't actually know if that's who did the original cover. Oh, wait, here we go. That's Percy Jackson. That's Magnus Chase. That's a good sign. New problem. What does the original cover... Oh, oh! Fantastic. This is the guy who did one of the House Moving Castle covers. Okay. So... I'm gonna drag that over. Illustrator is John. So, here's a little tip for if you're looking stuff up. That is absolutely a book cover, but it's the wrong one. That is steampunk. That's the right vibe. That's Percy Jackson again. That's still Percy Jackson. Those are the old covers that I really liked. I don't care what anybody else said. Alright, what does the original cover of this book even look like? It looks like that. Mr. Jude, sir, I don't see that. Wait, because he didn't do... Because he didn't do... Okay, alright. Percy Jackson. He did all of his other series, but he didn't do Kane. So who did the cover of the Kane Chronicles? Let's see, there's the graphic novelist. Hey you, do you tell me who did the illustrations? That says it is. But on his own page, it doesn't list the Kane Chronicles. Which is weird. See, this is why see, there's the right picture. Y'all have no idea how frustrating it is. I don't own the original cover for this, and on his own page, it says Rocco has illustrated covers for Rick Riordan's internationally best-selling series Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, and the Trials of Apollo. He's also created the illustrations for the #1 New York Times bestseller, Percy Jackson's Greek Gods and Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes. You know what it doesn't list in that lineup? The Kane Chronicles. You know which covers I'm looking for? The Kane Chronicles. And like I can find one of the original covers for the Kane Chronicles on his gallery, but not the other two, which kind of makes me wonder, did someone else do the first two? Oh. If you've ever wondered what it looks like trying to find illustrators for some of these books, this is what it's like. It's me following a bunch of blind leads and hoping and praying. Hoping and praying I can find what I'm looking for. Let's see. Good to know. It's got some fun covers internationally. Cannot confirm. So we're not putting it up. Cannot confirm. I may try to do some poking around later, but in the interest of keeping things moving and not just being an absolute slog, I will share with y'all the cover I have. Yeah, oh, I forgot about that. If you've ever wondered, hey, is it interesting doing, making these PowerPoints? Interesting isn't the right word. I find some very interesting things out when I do research to fill these out. This is the UK cover, but it is equally frustrating. I'm gonna hide that from y'all. Y'all don't need to see this. So this is the cover I have. Also, I can flip it over And it should tell me cover illustration. That is the most vague name I've seen for a cover illustration in a while. Let's go here. See if we can find them. Digital Illustrator. Always a good sign. Portfolios. Let's see if I can prove that this is the correct person before I start. Well, if this isn't the right person, it has a very similar vibe. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's the same cover vibe. It's gotta be this guy. Oh, they redid the City of Ember covers. I'm looking for confirmation that they actually did these covers, is what I'm looking for. So I am scrolling through their gallery, which, at least conveniently for me, they have a full gallery. Some people have just their like highlights gallery. Why is it not in here? This is where their books are. Hang on. This is not a good sign. Okay, there's a Trials of Apollo cover. Once again, we have a Rick Riordan, but not the one I'm looking for, sir. What is this? That's all. Nope, not that. Let's see. Who published this? It is Penguin Random House UK. That is an interesting... Huh. Alright. Oh, it's a puffin. That's who did it. Alright, so... Hang on. So this is a UK cover, and what I find interesting is the way they say things on their information page. There's the person who did the interior illustrations. Fun fact, this book has hieroglyphs in it. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend this book. But also, I would like to give credit to your illustrators, man. Does this guy work with Penguin? This guy works with Penguin, but that doesn't prove anything. He works with books. Oh, come on, guy. work with me. Are these... Yeah, no, I can only find one. He did the UK Trials of Apollo cover. Correction, he did one of the UK Trials of Apollo covers. What is this, and why is it so hard to find? Hang on. This is the art house? Yeah. Let's see. Previous clients, HarperCollins, Macmillan. Interestingly, not Penguin. Maybe a current client. Oh, good grief. Styles. Publishing? Book covers. Here we go. We've got another list of book covers. Ooh, he does word art. Wonderful. Art made of words, not art made in clip. Oh, wait, no. This is not just him. If I find it on here, is there a search function? Search function. Wonderful. I don't know if this is the right person. I assume it is because it's the UK digital illustrator, but also welcome to I can't guarantee things, and I don't like to just... So I know the name is JC. It's probably the one I found who is a JC. If I click this, hang on, better. This looks like a lot of the same stuff, but that's okay as long as I find what I'm looking for. They have the right vibe. It's literally just finding what I'm looking for. And it's not here either. Alright. I'm so confused. Well, if I can't find it in just a minute, I'm gonna move on. gotta be this guy, yeah? Let's see. Oh, not the graphic novel. We're gonna put this. We're gonna do that. Because I can't find him definitively, and it's really annoying, even though the name is literally on the back of the book. So if you've ever wondered, oh wait. Ugh. If you've ever wondered where you can find certain things, check the back of your books for some of your illustrators. Check inside the front cover on the if I click on it, those are the covers I want. Check. Oh, and you know what? It is two different illustrators. Because the first two look illustrated and the last one looks more like photo manipulation. Gosh darn it. Oh, which means they were published that time where everything was going from one to the other. So if I click this, another place to look. Yeah, that's absolutely illustrated. Another place to look is if you look at places like Amazon and they let you read a sample. Sometimes they include just enough information on the info page for you to find the illustrator. Or in this case, they just tell me who did the interior illustrations. If I scroll down, will they show me the back of the book? Sometimes they do. No. Alright, hang on. If I click this, is this one of those spinny ones? That's a different cover. Seriously. That is a whole different set of covers. Dear people who publish books. I would like dear people who publish books, I would like to know who your illustrators are. Please and thank you. Fine. Alright, we're gonna move on because otherwise we're gonna be here all night of watching me struggle. See, this is why I usually take a couple of hours and put this together, so you don't have to see this part of me struggling. Do we want to actually continue? Oh, hey! I'm so sorry. I missed that you made it. I'm so happy you made it. I'm running behind, so I'm kind of making the PowerPoint with everybody as we go along. It's not the best. Don't recommend. A 1 out of 10. This should, oh wait, no, this should be still full size. This is about the author. And I don't think I've actually done a Riordan on stream before. So, let's talk about him. Let's see, he's most known for not this publication, but he's most known for the Percy Jackson. Oh, there's a moth in the room. Lovely. Books. But let's see. There should be fun information on his actual site. So I will say this. He does have a very nice site. It's a pet peeve of mine that I've learned while doing this that, man, I wish I could find illustrators. I love giving credit to the people who make the book covers because the book covers are half the fun. But, I can't always do that. So, let's see. Oh. Well, there you go. That's that. Welcome to Why Things Make Sense. Formerly. And history teacher. And. Bay Area and San Antonio. A-N-T-O-N-I-O. Nope. Why does that look wrong? Words look weird today. He has also written adult mystery novels. And then he went from, and by that I just meant they were aimed at adults. Oh, he now writes full-time and lives in Boston. Well, that's fun. Also, I find it really funny, if you look on his website, he flat out tells you that most of his social media accounts are run by his staff, which is really nice and a level of transparency that is great. Oh, and for those that don't know, Percy Jackson started as bedtime stories, much like The Hobbit. But no, this is, it's always nice when there's a really nice website I can go and pull from, to make things. And I don't have to, like, flail around. Alright, so let us move on to what you need to know. Let's see. I'm gonna do this in the easiest way possible. It is ancient Egypt. Well, no, that's not true. Let's do Egyptian mythology. It's about family. Let's see, what are the other big driving forces? But it's not really a coming of age in the same way Percy Jackson was. We'll just say magic. It's a catch-all. We're gonna move real quick. Alright, we've got two main characters, which is dueling viewpoints. I should probably address the elephant in the room. Okay, so I can type and talk at the same time, maybe. We have Carter Kane, and we have Sadie Kane. All right. So this book has two viewpoints, Carter and Sadie. They are indicated at the beginning of each chapter who is writing the chapter. The premise of the book is that it is a transcription of a recording that the siblings made, and there will be occasional cut-ins of, you know, Sadie kicked me in the shins, or Carter is making a funny face, or whatever. And what it really does is allow the reader and author to fill in the gaps, because if it was told from one perspective, there's a fair amount of like unconscious or things that happen apart that the reader wouldn't know about. I think that's kind of why I don't prefer... I think... This is going to sound weird. I prefer Egyptian mythology to Greek mythology. I am more comfortable with Greek mythology just by nature of it's everywhere. But I think I actually prefer Percy Jackson to this book. So Carter Kane was raised by his father. Traveled the world. So that is a key point for Carter, is that he doesn't really have a home. He had one when his mom was alive, and then his mom died, and his dad got him, and the grandparents got Sadie. So raised in the UK by maternal. Is there an I in that word? So it's, on the one hand, it's a lesson in miscommunication, but it's miscommunication that makes sense, because both siblings feel like the other one had it better. And, like, objectively, one of them does have it better, but that doesn't mean it doesn't suck for the other one. Welcome to two things can be equally true. So, Egyptian mythology. Is the whole premise. So how do I do this? How do I do this without spoiling? Okay. So, spoiling as little as possible. Very early in the book, gods are set free. Multiple gods are set free. And you have the magicians of Egypt who do not believe the gods should be trusted or dealt with, except for Thoth, because he's an exception. They don't really explain why, and it just feels like he's an exception because hypocrite. But so the magicians basically want to stop the gods from rising. If you've read The Dark is Rising, or if you've read the Percy Jackson books and Battle for Olympus ish. I will say this is a lot more grand scale. That might also be part of why I don't enjoy it. You know what? We're going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. I'm just going to talk to you about the book, and I'm going to worry about this bit later. So, let's start with prose. It is well written. I did not enjoy it as much, but I will not deny it is well written. I didn't like the fact that because it bounced back and forth, you saw very clearly the miscommunication happening, which felt like a detriment to the whole book. Because it's like, yeah, I know they're not talking, and I understand why they're not talking, but also a conversation will solve this. Which, yes, it is a children's book, but also that's a trope with adult books, so it's not like I can be like, oh, it's because it's a children... No. So it suffers from one conversational fixedness. And unlike Percy Jackson, where you only knew what Percy knew, because you're getting two different perspectives here, you get more. To be fair, it's also why I prefer the Percy Jackson books over the sequel set. Not that I don't like them, but there's a preference. And it's the multiple perspectives. I think Riordan is weaker at multiple perspectives than he is at a singular perspective. It is also a story about family, primarily literal family of blood, not family of choice. And part of that is because you have siblings, and part of that is because you're dealing with the Egyptian gods, and welcome to lots of them were family, if not all. Except for a handful that were made in other ways. Most of them are related. So you have people like Osiris and Bast, and you mentioned Ra, and just look, Egypt doesn't have a Big 12. Just think of a major Egyptian god that's used in pop culture. It's probably in here, in addition to some that you may recognize the names of from something like Prince of Egypt, like Sobek. So that's a lot of fun, but it is a story about family. Do you trust your family? If your family is basically strangers to you, do they count as family? Will you sacrifice your family? Will you turn your back on your family if they betray you? Is that it? Or do you give them another chance? That kind of thing. It's also one of the other big things is identity. Because when your whole world kind of crumbles around you and all you've got left is yourself, and you don't really like yourself because neither of these main characters really like themselves, And then you find yourselves in situations where you have to um, show up or shut up, and what you have to share doesn't feel like enough. What you have to show doesn't feel like enough. Who are you really? Um, there are multiple instances of that from both Sadie and Carter. I do think Carter gets the shorter end of that stick. Um, like, I know why, but it very much feels like he gets the shorter end of that stick. And then magic, because you have the magic is more word-based magic. It's a lot closer to the magic in Support Your Local Wizard than it is to the magic in Percy Jackson, even though it takes place in the same universe as Percy Jackson. I absolutely could see Nita and Kit vibing in this. Mostly because language and words. So, I guess what I'm saying is I do recommend it. I think it's really good, and I think it's fun. It's well written. It's lighthearted. It's not a fast read. I'll admit to that. But if you can get past the first 2/3, the last third is a pretty nice, punchy downhill. Um, yeah. Weirdly, the British spelling of words threw me off more when it came to the word curb than when it came to the random U's in my American words, American spellings. Um, curb having only 2 letters the same was not what I was expecting. Uh, it's one of those words that I've never looked up because I just assumed they were the same across the two spellings, and they are not. Yeah, and my recommendations off of this is probably Support Your Local Wizard. Nope, that's the anthology. So You Want to Be a Wizard, What the River Knows, what's the other one I read so much of? Sphinx's Princess, there we go. Um, Wait, no, it's not Sphinx's Princess. It's Sphinx's Queen. What's the one before Sphinx's Queen? Let's see. Sphinx's... Oh, it is Sphinx's Princess. But is it... Wait. Hang on. Sphinx's Princess... We're doing it this way. Where's the next book in the series? Where's book 2? Give me book 2. It is Sphinx's Queen. But when I googled that, it didn't pull it up. Alright. We're gonna leave that alone. Clearly I've made myself mad. I'm sorry I spent so long trying to find illustrators. I stand by what I said, though. Dear book publishing companies, please, please, please make it easier to find your illustrators so people can give credit where credit is due and or look them up and see all their pretty artwork. Please. Because it's only like the really big ones who you can find. If it's someone who's been doing art for decades, yeah, you can probably find them because their name is big enough that everybody can point to their artwork. It's like this one, you've got one art style for the UK covers, you've got a different art style for the US covers, but the US covers appear to have different illustrators for different covers. So,
I hope this hasn't been too frustrating. I'm very sorry. I have already started on the next one. It will be out of season, but I don't really care because it is in the correct time. And it will be another audiobook, which should tell you exactly what it is. I hope all of y'all have a good night. Have a good rest. Don't be too stressed. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.